This session will concentrate on calculating decimal time. Today, we still use the base of 60 for time, just as the ancients had. And when answering questions on time, we often have to convert time into the decimal system. Time is worked in a base of 60, and the decimal system works on a base of 10. Remember this difference. There are 365 days in a year, 12 months in a year, a day is made up of 24 hours, an hour is made up of 60 minutes, and a minute is made up of 60 seconds. Every day we use time to help us manage our lives. We need to get up at a certain time so we can get to work. We use time to plan our tasks during the working day. We know what time nappy break is, and what lunchtime, and when we finish work. We often use time to calculate how long a journey will take us, or what time we have to leave home to meet a friend. We may also have to convert time from base 60, which is real time, to base 10, which is decimal time, to help work out a calculation in an exam or an assessment. We already know and use the common fractions associated with time, but what will they be if we have to convert them to decimal time? A quarter of an hour would be written as 1/4, a quarter. In decimal time, we know that it's 0.25 hours. Half an hour is 1/2, a half. In decimal, it's 0.50. 3/4 of an hour is 3/4, 3/4. In decimal, 0.75. That's all quite straightforward, but as we said earlier, we often need to convert time to decimal time to be able to carry out a calculation. So let's try something a bit trickier. If we were told that a journey takes 2 hours and 30 minutes, and asked to convert this to decimal time, this would be quite easy, as we know that half an hour is 30 minutes. So therefore, we could write this as 0.50. So 2 hours 30 minutes would become 2 hours 0.50 for our calculation. But what would we do if we were asked to convert 2 hours 12 minutes to decimal time? So let's work it out. 2 hours and 12 minutes converted into decimal time. Remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour, and we want to know what fraction 12 minutes is of 60 minutes. To calculate this, we divide 12 by 60. We lay our calculation out like this. Now cancel down. 12 will go into 12 on the top once, and into 60 5 times. Don't forget, we have to divide the top and the bottom by the same number. This becomes 1/5, which also equals 0.20. Once we've cancelled the fraction down to its lowest form, we have 1/5. At this stage, we need to work out what 1/5 of 100 is, because now we're working within the decimal system. To do this, just divide 100 by 5. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So we now know that 5 goes into 100 20 times, so 1/5 of 100 is 20. That's where we get that 0.20 from. Therefore, 2 hours and 12 minutes converted into decimal time is 2.20 hours. Let's try another. Change 1 hour and 48 minutes to decimal time. We're going to use one of the methods we've already looked at. Remember, we want to find out what fraction 48 is of 60. Therefore, we divide 48 by 60. The 48 will divide by 12 4 times, and 60 will divide by 12 5 times. Once we've cancelled down the fraction to its lowest form, we have 4/5. This means 4/5. At this stage, we need to work out what 1/5 of 100 is, because now we're working in the decimal system. To do this, just divide 100 by 5. This equals 20. Now, we must multiply by 4, as we have 4/5. So 4 times 20 equals 80. Next, we must put the decimal point in. We put the decimal point in front of the 80 to indicate that it's part of, or a fraction of, the whole hour. Therefore, 1 hour 48 minutes converted into decimal time is 1.80 hours. You can see from our calculations that if we want to convert hours and minutes into decimal time, we must divide. The other thing we have to look at is converting decimal time into hours and minutes. When working out a calculation, we may get an answer in decimal time. The other thing we have to look at is converting decimal time into hours and minutes. When working out a calculation, we may get an answer in decimal time, and to get the correct answer, be asked to work out how many hours and minutes we have. To do this, we need to know how to convert decimal time to hours and minutes. Using the table we looked at earlier, it is easy to see that 0.50 is the same as 30 minutes, and that 0.25 is the same as 15 minutes. To convert decimal time to hours and minutes, we multiply. Let's take a look at how it works. You've got an answer of 1.4 hours for a question, but you need to give your answer in hours and minutes. How do we convert it? Well, forget about the hours for now and look at the rest of it, the decimal part. We have 0.40. This means 0.40 of an hour. Remember, an hour is 60 minutes. So we need to work out what 0.40 of 60 is. Our calculation should look like this. 0.40 times 60 equals 24. Therefore, that's 24 minutes. You can use a calculator to work this out, or a multiple sum. Now you add your 24 minutes to your hours, so 1.4 hours will be 1 hour and 24 minutes. Let's try one more to make sure you've got the right idea. Use one of the methods we looked at before. What is 2.8 hours in hours and minutes? Remember, we have to multiply this time. Leave the hours to one side and work out the decimal part. Our calculation will look like this. 0.8 times 60 equals 48. This is 48 minutes. Now we must add this to our hours. Our answer will be 2 hours and 48 minutes. You can see from our calculations that if we want to convert decimal time to hours and minutes, we must multiply. This clip will have helped you to understand how to convert hours and minutes into decimal time, and to convert decimal time into hours and minutes. You can learn more about decimals in some of the other clips. Now you must complete your workbook to help reinforce what you have learned. Remember, you can view this clip as many times as you need to.